Hi, I'm Mo Taylor, a designer slash stylist at Naked Magazine. Today I'm going to be telling you 5 tips of how to become a great designer. So the first tip on being a good designer is sticking with your brand or the type of designer that you are. And I think, you have to design for yourself and others, not for others and yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're the designer. You have to love what you put out and love what you do. There's always going to be critics with original designs because not everybody has your same taste. So what I do to kind of start off with my designing is I get a good inspiration. So that's number 2. Finding good inspiration within your environment, food that you eat, the clothes that you wear every day, the people that you see. That's typically how you start off with a good, inspiration. And then once you get all of that, I usually put it into a mood board, either on Illustrator or sometimes I'll even take, magazine clips and kind of, paste together like I did here. When you get inspiration, a lot of people tend to think, oh, it's just you get inspiration from runways. Well, that's a small part of your inspiration. Like, I feel like a good design comes from things that you don't usually see within clothing. Like, I do glamorous streetwear, and I like to take things from nature and take things from, even household items. If I see a certain color on maybe a water bottle or on a building, that's how I usually get my inspiration. I get them from very, odd places. So, number 3, after I've done my, inspiration, gotten on my mood boards, I typically, kind of like play around with fabrics. Like I have this fabric here. I just kind of like zhuzhed it up. I kind of, go to the fabric stores, look at, different fabrics, different colors, and just try it out. Like I like to just like take random, odd looking fabrics and just kind of drape them along my, dress form to see, what comes out of it. Sometimes you don't always have a certain plan when it comes to designing. So my 4th thing that I like to do, of course, I typically love to sketch. That's like my favorite part other than like picking out fabrics, because I love, seeing a design come to life. But it's something about that planning process, the heavy stress of like coming up with, an idea out of nowhere, out of thin air. I just find it really fun to do. Just love to sketch, and this is like a good example of a Kirky figure. Yeah, so like your Kirky figure or your fashion illustration is usually when your design is starting to come to life before it's going to the machine. So usually what I do is, I sketch out a couple of different ideas and I choose from, what I think looks the best, what I think, would be easier to find with fabrics, because sometimes you can't find fabrics everywhere. After I've like done my sketching, I've, looked at fabrics, then I go into my pattern making process. So there's 2 different type of ways to make patterns. One is draping, which is technically what this is on this side. And then the other is what we call flat pattern, which is basically like the paper method. Like what you would usually see, like the pre-made patterns is basically like that, but not, mass produced. It's made by me. So I dabble in both. I personally love draping the most because it's like, it's just taking the fabric and seeing where it takes you, basically. After I've done all of my process, I think this is like the 5th step. After I've done like, gotten my inspiration, I've went and I've looked at fabrics and, I've done my sketching, done my pattern work, you know, really tested it out. I take my pattern and I usually will cut it out on a test fabric or muslin, whichever one. I would cut it out and then I would start sewing it up, and basically it's like your test garment, which is used to, you know, for fit, you know, any size adjustments that you need to do is what you would do with that mock-up basically. And then if everything's okay, everything's good, usually I typically would go ahead, you know, get my fabric, whatever fabric I chose, which we call the fashion fabric, which would be the final piece technically. So I would take my fashion fabric and then I would start sewing, cut it out, start sewing, and then that's usually it. Being a designer is all about your perspective, personally to me. It's all about your perspective. I think anybody can dabble in fashion, but to be a designer and to be a stylist, you actually have to have a passion behind it, because and it's just like any career, any job, you have to have a passion behind what you're doing or you're not going to enjoy it. It's just going to be numbers and fabric to you. I think being a designer is a lot of hard work, but the work pays off in the end. So yeah, that's it, guys. Once again, my name is Mo Taylor. I have a brand named Taste. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, at Mo_TAYSTE Taste. So yeah, thanks guys, and I had a blast making this video, and yeah, let's design.